Yeah, so today we will contemplate on chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, 44th verse. Bhogaiśwvarya-prasaktānāṁ taya-pahrita-chetasāṁ vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. With their minds deeply attached to worldly pleasures and their intellects bewildered by such things, they are unable to possess the resolute determination for success on the path to God. So the meaning of the words: Bhoga is gratification, Aishwarya, luxury, Prasaktānāṁ, whose minds are deeply attached, Taya, by that, Apahrita chetasam, bewildered in intellect, Vyavasayatmika, resolute, Buddhi, intellect, Samadhav, fulfillment, Na, never, Vidhiyate, occurs. So again, to give context, Vijayji, can you just go back to the last one we did? No, yeah. So here we talked about what is the nature of those who are able to succeed, right? And the nature is who are able to succeed in this path, which is the path of the truth, Atmajyana, what we are trying to understand here. So the successful ones, they are resolute. They are like they are one pointed in their aim. So to me, when Krishna is giving the teaching, he's also saying what is needed to succeed in that knowledge. When you get the knowledge, it remains only at the intellect level, and we need to apply that knowledge, then only we can succeed. So who are successful is those who are one pointed in that path, once they know the truth, once they got the knowledge. And now today's verse, if you go, and he's talking about those who fail to establish in the truth, in the knowledge that Sri Krishna is giving. And here he's saying, why will someone fail? Because is what now today we are going to contemplate. Yeah. So with that, maybe I will go one by one to Deepaji.
Yes, Saravananji. When we are attached to the worldly pleasures, when we are looking for some enjoyment, and when we just think of the money, and we are going behind it, such a mind actually will not be able to succeed in the path to God. The mind should be such that the mind should be able to focus, but the focus won't be possible when these things are there in the mind. And for the mind to be purified, it happens through Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Hearing the truth, then contemplating it, and also applying it practically and seeing if it works or not, and meditation. All this will keep my mind focused. And when we are going in that direction, we'll definitely succeed. So one has to have a pure mind, purified mind, and focus. Only then they'll be able to succeed in this path. This is my understanding, Saravananji.
Okay. And how do you see to yourself now that we are all learning? Do you see, does this verse convey some message to you?
Yeah, Paravananji. However, Shravana and Manana is going on, and whatever is being taught, I'm practically doing it and applying it in all the aspects of life. But a few times I'll be depressed because it'll be very difficult for me to follow. But then again, uh, taking some time, I think over it uh, and try to follow that. And this has shown a remarkable result.
Mhm.
I find myself to be very peaceful now. Otherwise, the mind actually was not in the present. It would be either in the past or the future. Now I'm trying to be just in the present. And this is working out.
Mhm.
Uh,
You said there were times where you were not able to follow, right?
yeah,
Have
the
you?
ego comes in between,
Mhm. Okay.
because of which um, I'll not be able to, I get confused and I'll not be able to decide what to do. Again, contemplating it with my sister, she guides me very well. So I take her advice and I go further. And I have seen a good result from that.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Santoshji.
Sir, actually, the words 2.44 tells about how a person who has dwelled with the worldly matter and the Hindriya, where he is not able to control his Indriyas and the worldly matters, wherein whatever the work he do with respect to his desires, which may be, in his favor or maybe not be in his favor. Whenever the things are in his favor, so he will stick to that and create an impression in his mind by working hard towards that. I will achieve something in this world, and I may procure, the Aishwarya or Bhoga, whatever that he is willing to do. In that way, his mind will be focused. But suppose the same work, when it is not happening according to his way, then he get depressed and he start blaming everybody, and he actually loses his control over everything, and he goes into the depression again. So anybody, that is what, when the jnani, or when a person who follows with the karma yoga, with the focus of surrendering everything to the god, and doing his duty without any expectation, whatever the result comes, that he accepts as it is from the god, whatever that he has given. So in that way, the purification of mind is achieved. With the purification of mind, is chitta shuddhi will be happen. So with that, his attainment towards the worldly matters will come down, and his focus will be very sharp towards the goal, towards the life. And when it comes to what I take from this is, previously, when we were always involved in the worldly matter, like procuring this one, doing that one, we used to get tense. So frequently, when the things are going wrong towards us, we used to get tensioned, and we start blaming the things. We used to start blame, because of you it is not happening. Maybe the person, maybe the god, sometimes maybe the environment. And now, after practicing all these things, the slowly, the mind is being focused on one thing, and slowly, not blaming others for whatever it happens. Do it focusedly, without any expectation. Surrender to God, whatever that comes, take it as a prasad and do it. I mean, that's what I'm following whenever it comes to my job, or work matter, whatever the thing is happening in the life.
Perfect. Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Krishnaji.
Yeah. So one thing is, I had similar with this Shloka experience. So prior to this, but I was not aware of this thing. I just want to add that point. So respective to the food, so the food we eat and right? So when I eat food or when I fast, usually I fast some days, monthly once or sometime like that. So when I fast versus when I eat food, though it is limited food or a full stomach food 3 times or twice, the clarity and the body and the able to concentrate on anything, right? So it is clear when I fast and don't starve, and so there is a clear clarity comes in to specific aim point wherever I aim to, irrespective of work life as well as in the daily life situation we handle. So that one point. So to this one, it clearly matches and I experienced it. So whenever we mm, expect or go towards some pleasure, simple would be like starving for a food and anything in the picture as rightly told. I have clearly experienced it. So there is that lot of stuffs coming in. There are lot of memories keep on making conclusions when I see or any situations or going in future or worrying about past. So that thing is clearly told. It is we are deeply attaching to the worldly pleasure through our senses and unable to process for the success on the path. So when we avoid this thing and focus on what is true and the consciousness, so I think that we are in a right path and we can make any, we will have the aimed point. Yeah, that's how we interpret it.
Okay.
So even before well, just starting to this meeting, so I just want to add. So there was something happening in home, and something is as soon as I, though I'm in separate room and door is locked, some noises were happening. So something that are, so it started to worry. So I just back. So
We are unable to hear you, Krishnaji.
yes,
The audio quality has gone down. Maybe you can check your internet connection. We will come back to you again. Yeah, he'll reconnect. Yeah. Anjuji, would you like to share?
Yes, sir. My understanding is that, sir, this world, we all are materialistic. Whatever we do, it is based on the outcome. Whatever maybe we are, suppose day to day, I'm a doctor, I go for work. At the end of the day, whatever said and done, I'm bothered only about at the end of the month, what is my income and how can I. So that is the main thing. The service, of course, it will be back of my mind. But being an ordinary human being, it is the what you get out of what you're doing, always in that. And whatever extra I do, I expect also. Correct. That is what, as an ordinary human being. In this way, now I am trying to understand that maybe since few years as age advances, that is not the way. It should be what we should not think too much about the outcome. Our
Yes.
selfless service is the path to God. That
Yes.
is what my simple understanding, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good good understanding. And particular with respect to this particular verse, can you try to give more explanation?
In the sense, sir, I didn't get you.
So in the context we have now is
Yeah.
Shri Krishna has shown a path to
Yes.
Arjuna, or is giving, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with respect to that. And what is the path, and what is that he is warning Arjuna about, and how is that message to Arjuna is going to help you?
That's what, sir. Bhogaiśwvarya, right, sir? So
Mhm.
don't be behind materialistic. That is, don't think about what you get.
Okay,
What are you
okay. That's
going
why
to
you
get
said
out of
Bhogeshwaryam.
it?
Okay, okay,
Uh,
okay. So that this distraction is Bhogeshwaryam.
yes,
And then what is he asking to focus on?
sir. Sir, I didn't get that much.
No, so there are distractions,
Yeah.
which is like in a general day, the distractions are all the wants and needs, right? I need this, I need that,
Yeah.
and am I getting this? And by having mind distracted to all these things, what is he warning that one will forget?
The determination, no, sir.
That
You
the
meant that?
teaching.
The
No,
determination.
the teaching here. The
Yes.
teaching here is about the Atmajyana, right?
The mental
The,
determination.
like who, like the true knowledge, the knowledge of self,
Hmm.
right? So the more one is connected to the knowledge of self,
Yes.
you will be able to establish.
Yes, sir.
While
As Vijayji keep telling us, who am I? That is
ah,
what we should know to
okay,
understand
okay,
this.
okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you. Okay, got it. Rajshekhar ji.
Yes, sir. Um, I think this goes back to the previous one where I remember reading Guruji's words. That's the first time even I heard about the Purushartha, where they talk about Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So if we know how to balance all these things, then I think our path becomes much more easier, and that way we get more closer to the God. However, I think the challenge here is we still have our senses, bodily, physical desires, and then mind is roaming around here and there. So the game here is like how one can overcome that and then operate at a soul level, and then doing the selfless work, considering everything, whatever we are doing is offering to the God, and then finding that peace spot. Once one finds that, then I believe it becomes much more easier for us to move forward.
Mhm.
I think this reminds me of a novel which I read recently, where there is an old lady who's living with her grandson. Her son had passed away, and she's extremely poor. And when she's offering her prayer to the God, her only ask to the God is, God, you know everything. So what do I ask you? So you go ahead and then provide whatever you think is the right for us. That's the prayer. And then with that belief, she's moving forward. However, after a certain point of time, she's blessed with a lot of wealth. And then the way she used to look at life changes completely, because she's fighting towards securing that wealth. How do I put it? Where do I put it? How can I make it more? When I'm not there, they should take care of my grandson's education. And in that process, she got totally disturbed. The peace, whatever she had earlier when this wealth wasn't there, and the way she is living life now is totally different. Even the grandson used to say that, hey, you were much more peaceful when none of this was there. However, now you're totally different. And even her offering to the God has changed. She used to always ask about, like, hey, what do I do about this wealth? How do I secure it? And then when nothing was there, there wasn't any insecurity. Even in spite of having this much of wealth, she started to feel insecure, like what will happen to my grandson? What will happen to this wealth and all? So I think the game which is played on the earth is with so much. If we didn't have any of the physical desires and the mind, which carries a lot of baggages, it becomes much more easier. However, with both these things present, how one can overcome and then move forward is a key challenge. And if you ask me, I think I'm still in a hybrid mode. It's not an addiction or a craving. Still, you would like to enjoy some of the senses, whether it is enjoying your food, or going out and all those things. At the same time, you're not getting disturbed by the things which are happening. You're still operating at a soul level, thinking that you're not the doer, you're just moving forward with that. So I would still say that I'm still on that path.
Mhm. But are you able to think like why you are doing what you are doing,
Yes.
and what is that?
The purpose, how I think the last time when we were talking about
Mhm.
main purpose of us being here is how we can make this place a better for all beings. Initially, it is about me.
Why do you want to do that?
I think I believe that is the ultimate purpose of us being on this earth.
So just for the sake of discussion, I just want to know again,
Yes.
when you said believe, like, is it someone told you, or it is
I
you?
think it's the learning which I have come across in the last few years. Because initially we go through about finding our own purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? And then once you go through that, then the me kind of disappears. You're not here for yourself. Okay, you're here, and some of the other things which I've come across in these learnings are the final learning is the serving, right? Serving others or making this place better for all the beings. So then you realize that the whole thing was never about you.
And that starts with with the understanding that the place is not perfect now.
No, not really. It's not about not being perfect. It's about first you realizing yourself.
Okay.
And once that becomes clear, then you walk on that seva path.
Okay.
Because once the way I think I remember explaining this. Once when we are going through, we start the journey with the ignorance. Okay, and through that there are karmas which we create because we get into others' boundaries. And I believe the next step is getting that awareness. And once we have the awareness, we will have all the darkness within us, and being aware of that and accepting that darkness wholeheartedly, not like, oh, I don't have, that's why I have to accept it.
What is that darkness?
All of us within us, there is something or the other which is bothering, whether it is with respect to relationships or money, or we're talking about any of these attachments. They are mainly either from the money or from the relationships.
Okay, so you're talking from your point of view right now.
Yeah. Totally my point of view.
So you have some darkness.
Yes.
And you are accepting the darkness.
Absolutely. Once you completely accept that wholeheartedly, and then whenever these darknesses are brought into our life, universe is giving us a lot of resources to fight it out also at the same time. However, most of the time we don't concentrate on the resources, and we'll be deeply worried and then going deep into the thinking about the darkness.
Okay.
And then once we overcome that, we leverage the resources which are provided to us on this path, then I believe you start to become a resource for others who are going through the similar phase.
Okay.
And then I believe the last stage is accepting the darkness in others.
Okay. Yeah, that's I'm sure, I think we will, I think, as we go ahead, there will be a lot more clarity on this, and
Yeah.
we will come back to this kind of discussion and see how that explanation is changing, if it changes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so coming to my view, yeah, it's very one of the simple verses, or like I always felt before coming to know about Gita, I felt like it's a black box, like Bible or Quran. Gita is something, there will be some verses, and I had no clue. But the moment I started learning, I felt like they are like very simple, straightforward verses which are delivering a very effective message. And that's why we keep hearing it as the manual for life, like how every device we try to use comes up with a manual, right? So the life has a manual, which is how I see the Bhagavad Gita, right? And so there is this pre and then the post. Before knowing Bhagavad Gita, yes, the life was going up around all these things, worldly pleasures. And that's why I was asking the question, why? And the answer is very simple, for happiness, right? As a kid, having toys and candies, ice creams gave me happiness, so I was after them. And then maybe the dresses were giving happiness, so I was going after the cool dresses. And then like college degree, getting it in a big college was giving happiness, or then like having a big job was giving happiness, getting income was giving happiness. That is why I was going after. But then I realized that the goalpost kept changing. Like it was never a single goalpost, right? The goalpost for happiness was a moving target. And at one point of time, I realized, okay, so if I'm going after this for happiness, then looks like it's a never-ending thing. Because what gave me happiness before was not giving me happiness then. And I was looking for the new goalpost, right? And basically that happiness, seeking that happiness outside was what was driving me every day, right? And it becomes, and like the kind of sangha, the group we have in the community, it just adds fuel to the fire. And I've seen that usually with friends, and they'll say like, oh, these companies are not good, they are not paying much, or their promotions don't happen, or like we need to make more, we need to get insurance, or like we need to plan for retirement, post-retirement, this, that, right? So they were like adding more fuel to look for more goalposts, and that kept moving up. And that's where I started seeking, okay, what is the purpose and what is that I'm going after? And when it was, and then like when I started or Atmajyoti, this classes, right, and started listening, then it is very clear, yes, that's the happiness one is going after. And the external ones are always fleeting. One, they're fleeting, they just come and go, temporary. And adding to that, they give happiness for a short time, temporary, but then give pain, because once you lose it, okay, you have more pain than like when you didn't have it, right? And that's where we started learning that, like we are exposed to this knowledge where it says the happiness is not outside, and it's in you. And like that's where the question of who am I starts, right? Now the beauty is, yes, I am getting this knowledge, which is targeting the intellect, right? The intellect is satisfied. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, this is the explanations are very clear, and I am clear. But then the you sleep and you get up the next day, and you start going after the things until you realize that, like, what am I doing? Right. So what I see is, as is saying, as long as, like, the daily actions are, what I've seen is driven by the mind, and the mind is habit oriented, so it drives subconsciously based on the past habits, and only for the new things the mind seeks the intellect, saying, how should I do? And only when the mind seeks intellect, the decisions are like very clear, I've seen. While the past knowledge based actions, if they are still taking me to the old ways of doing, it gives, again, even though the new knowledge is there, I'm not able to, like, the new knowledge, I'm not established in that new knowledge. I think that's why Sri Krishna is coming back again and again. It is not about knowing, then, like, it is about, like, how determined you are to remain in that path, to finally become successful. Which basically means, to me, it's like, how can I slow down? How can I not let the mind drive the moment with the past, rather train the mind again and again with this new knowledge, which is what I feel I'm getting through this satsanga, right? Where, like, it is, if you actually go through, what I've seen is, go through any scripture, even within Bhagavad Gita, any verse, I have always felt that it just gives a complete view, and, like, it kind of refreshes the whole point that you are complete, you are perfect, there is nothing wrong, right? And like, you don't need anything else, and the happiness is within you, right? It is like training this mind again and again, so that even when I'm not consciously seeking the intellect, the mind is able to walk in the right direction. That's my view. Over to you, Gigi.
Sarvanji, one thing.
Yeah.
When you start telling about Bhagavad Gita, I want to share my experience.
Mhm.
You know, before, 25 years back, when I was studying in the college, I was extremely into Christianity.
Mhm.
Like, I have read Old Testament, New Testament. There, people believe, all Christianity people believe that this Bible is completely given by the God and their 10 disciples. I still remember the words, Mark 11:25, where whatever the trust that you with the God, you pray, it will be done to you. Which means, irrespective of anything, whatever that you ask to the God, it will come to you. That's what the meaning is. But people will cry, in front of, they kneel in front of the God, and cry, God, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want this, with this, with this particular indriyas and worldly matter. But
Mhm.
after slowly, I just shifted my focus from that. There again, I had lot of controversies between. It went to till conversion to this one. So then I just thought of let me decline from this particular thing, and then slowly I started moving towards the Hindu part, where I born and brought up. Slowly, things started changing, and later part, say after 10 years or 15 years of my prarabdhas or whatever, the chitta shuddha happened, then I was able to meet Guruji, and there I got a clean and clear water, clean and crystal clear information from the Atma Bodha or Tattva Bodha, and then our Bhagavad Gita. Completely, you are not. We are all, we are going towards the worldly matter and following the desires which will never fulfilled. I mean, this this, this these points are never written in any of the Bibles or whatever that I have come across. And
Mhm.
we are so amazed and blessed. We have so much resource, and why do people go to the different path and do? I mean, this is my experience. I just wanted to share.
Mhm.
And now I'm into something like I feel that I have reached that goal, and I wanted to stay here, which I was missing. This is what I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it's the prarabdha. So
Yes.
everything goes through evolution, and I think like the example given is like, as a flower didn't become a flower in a moment. From
Yes.
bud, it started, right, blossoming little, then like complete it became fruit. So it took
Yeah.
time from like not being a bud to the full flower. So
Yeah.
whatever again the opening of the clarity of understanding, right? It is again, it's like flower blossoming. It takes time, and again they give example that not every flower takes the same time to blossom completely, right?
Yes, exactly.
So it's perfectly fine. It's okay. There is no rush for a flower to blossom completely, right?
Yes.
And why each flower took its own time, it's nature, the way you see it. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, so it's perfectly fine, right? The path you went through, and yeah.
And why people are behind, even I was also in the same path. You believe it or not, this Christian mission is a 24/7 prayer centers. You can call anytime and ask for, no, I want this to happen, I want my health, I want. Why we are running behind those desires, worldly desires? And I was never knowing this until unless I found the guru. From the guru, I got to know about what exactly their things are, and what is our Sanatana is. And our Sanatana is everything. We were just blind. I am the only one person, but I see so many people who are following the same path, and they are the same garbage every day in their garbage, this one, and coming out again, falling down. Yeah, as you told, not all flowers will blossom in the same day. It will take their own time, and things will happen in their life based on their prarabdha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I share something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. See here, the first question which comes to me is, Arjuna was a prince, and King Krishna was the person who was behind the making of Dwarka. So if you really see, I don't think Krishna ever said that don't go after money, don't go after materialistic wealth. And when I asked this question to Prabhuji also, then he also is very clear that Shakti Darshana what he's doing is nothing but how to generate abundance. It's not materialistic thing, it's abundance. And abundance starts from the mind. Abundance in everything. And if you see the Purushartha, that is Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha, if you see from that Purushartha part of it, if materialistic thing is not important, why Artha is mentioned in Purushartha? So that means definitely there's an importance which is given to the materialistic. And one other thing is the choice is not between this or that. I will give up materialistic things and then I'll become spiritual. It's always this and that. How can I have this and that? Both the things are meaningful in life. If you ask me today, if I'm sitting here because I'm comfortable materialistically, if myself I'm struggling so much materialistically, I'll not even have time to think, because the survival becomes the game. To think of sitting here, I'll only think that how do I survive? How do I survive? How do I survive? So I'm grateful to God that He has given me that kind of life where I'm comfortable to sit and contemplate and work my way forward. That being the case, then what is the Krishna is trying to say is the question for me. And the question is like, it is not what we want, It is the intent of whatever we are in pursuit of. What is the intent of it? The intent could be, if we say that from the perspective of, is it intent is only me, I. Is the intent we? Is the intent in the service of others? Can I become something? So if you really see, I'm more prosperous, I'm more better now than what I was earlier, when I thought about serving them as a coach with the intention that if I do this service, how much money will I get? That was my intent. But today, my mission statement itself is different. My mission statement is like to make significant contribution in other people's lives, so that we all can lead a life of sense of purpose, zest, and happiness. Earlier, we was not there. It was like to make significant contribution in people's lives so that they can live a sense of. Then I said, why is that I am excluding myself from that in that mission statement? Then I said, if we all can lead a sense of purpose, zest, and happiness. And one more intention which I got is, my intention is to elevate happiness and alleviate suffering, where they will have physical elevation in physical health and physical fitness, elevation in mental, emotional, and spirit, which is nothing purpose and value. So with that clarity, when I'm doing the work, today the amount of value I'm getting in return for the work what I'm doing is, it's about 30 times more than what I'm getting materialistically earlier. Because the intention has changed. And people are, the best part is, I'm able to generate respect, trust, love, and trust among people, and gratitude. So this is something which I have generated enough. So in multi-folds, where I got mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual love, and mutual gratitude to a great extent. So I'm welcomed in most places because my intent has changed. The intent is not what is going to come and take from us. When my intention, which is conveyed to people, is like, I'm here to serve you. The moment they feel that I am there to serve them, they all feel that you are welcome here. They all welcome me. So I think that shift happens when we are in this path. And when you say Bhogaiśwvarya is like it's not about it's not about materialistic wealth as such, but what is that you are in pursuit of. And Krishna was telling Arjuna, from the point of you are fighting this battle, from the person, what is the battle you are fighting? You are fighting the dharma yuddha. That means you are removing the adharma, because there's so much of greed, so much of lust, so much of pride, vanity. All those things should be removed first within us. And if there's an enemy who is there like that, either we remove it or we just stay away from that company. So this is my take on this whole thing. And what he's talking about, not in pursuit of materialistic wealth, the intention behind what you are doing. What is the intention? And that is what needs to be shifted in us rather than anything else. That's my take.
Great, Arjunji. So, the path of evolution can be seen by this 3 words. I am somebody. 2, I am nobody. 2, everybody. So let's understand what is the teaching here with reference to that particular path of the journey. I am somebody means what? I have a concept that I am somebody. So whatever I see and feel, I am somebody. Man body, woman body, tall body, short body, fat body, good looking body, somebody. So I am somebody. Also, I have certain concepts about me. I am honest, I am angry, I am good. So like that, the body means what? Body means there is a sense of boundary It is a sense of boundary that creates a body, whether it's a mental body or whether it's a physical body. Any body is created by a sense of concept in the mind. It's a boundary. For example, where is India? When you ask that question, India is nothing but on this Mother Earth, you and I take a pen and have written a line. On the Mother Earth, is there a line called this is where India ends and this is where Pakistan begins? No such line. It is you and I simply draw a line. Where there is no boundary, you and I create a boundary, and then we become so deeply possessed and attached to that boundary that many a times we are willing to kill another for the so-called security of this boundary. Is it not? This is the beginning point. When I am somebody. What that body? You can put so many adjectives, whatever it may be, but fundamentally it is somebodyness. I am somebody. I am a man, I'm an Indian, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm Kannadiga, I'm Tamilian. Whatever that somebodyness creates a boundary. So the question that Sri Krishna is asking all through Bhagavad Gita, through which he is helping us to gain the clarity is, am I truly somebody? That is the most fundamental question that he is asking. Am I truly somebody? Where is this concept of a man body? Where is this man body? Am I a man body? Or am I a boy body? Or am I a child body? Especially those of you who have better medical understanding know that between a man body and a woman body, the differences are very little. Very little. Few chemical changes here and there can change dramatically the structure of the body. And also fundamentally, when you examine the body under the microscope, whether it is a man body or a woman body, Indian body, Tamil body, or a Pakistani body, body is the body. The living cell is a living cell. Same exact phenomena. But somewhere there's a deeply held concept about I am somebody. That somebodyness is the fundamental source of all kinds of fighting for you and me in life. Is it not? When we look at any fighting, fighting means what? Some kind of a difference, some kind of a irritation. For example, right now, you may be sitting on a chair. If let's say for whatever reason, that chair has some nail pricking, then you feel irritated. You feel, "Ayo, I don't want to sit on this, I want to move." It is irritating. Why? Because that nail and what you call as your body are separate, and that nail is causing a pain in your body. Is it not? So the sense of the pain comes because there is a boundary. Similarly, sense of the pleasure also comes because something else outside of me. Fundamentally, when you look at any human being, look at your own inclination, each human being naturally wants to be happy, healthy, peaceful. None of us here want the feeling of the pain. All of us here want that feeling of the pleasure. Pleasure is nice. Whereas pain, we avoid. This is natural to any one of us. So therefore, the fundamental question is then pleasure something that I should avoid? Is that what Sri Krishna is saying? Fundamentally, why am I seeking pleasure?
We are losing you. I'm losing.
Are others also not able to hear?
No, we can hear
No,
you.
no, no. We are
we
able
can
to hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Arjunji, maybe it is with your network. So why am I seeking pleasure and wanting to avoid pain? That is very natural. So when I'm somebody, there is something outside of me and I want to make it part of me. That is why I consume. Is it not? Please look at it. What is pleasure? In all your activities of pleasure, whether it is eating pleasure or listening pleasure or seeing pleasure, through these five senses only you seek pleasure, is it not? Any of the pleasure. And what are you seeking in that activity? When you're seeing something, I want to see nice things. I want to enjoy a nice movie. I want to enjoy nice, neat park. I want to see beautiful things. So there is a natural inclination towards consuming or having that become part of you. So pleasure, the sense of pleasure is coming through that sense when there is no dissonance in your mind. When that sight is coming and your mind is, it is okay, it is perfectly fine. Then there is no dissonance, there is no battle, there is no nail that is pricking. So you accept that. It becomes part of you completely. And that is what gives you the sense of pleasure. Is it not? So pleasure is when there is no sense of confrontation with what is coming, whether it is through your eyes, ears, whatever, any of these five senses. Now the question is, why am I seeking that? Because there is a somebodyness. I am somebody and that thing is outside of me. So by consuming it through my sense, I will make it part of me. And that is the pleasure that I am seeking. Now, the first and fundamental question Bhagavad Gita is asking you and me is to examine, is that somebodyness a reality? Is that the truth? Where is this somebody? It is prompting you and me again and again. Where is this somebody? Am I a boy body, man body, old body, young body? Which body am I? Am I an Indian, a Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Sikh, good, bad? Which body am I? Am I any of the body? So, through very careful examination and with a very simple day-to-day experience-based logic, Sri Krishna has shown us that all the bodies I think I am are nothing but thoughts. Where? In the mind. So I am someone who's aware of this thought. So then am I that somebody? That is the fundamental question that Sri Krishna raised right at the beginning. When he started teaching Atmajyoti to Arjuna. So that somebodyness is the fundamental source of all confusion. And he has clearly shown that that somebody is nothing but an illusion in the mind. As a little baby, I did not have concept of India, Hindu, Muslim, Kannada, Tamil, good, bad, ugly. None of it was there. What was there? How was I? when all these concepts were not there, how was I? How was your childhood? Just go back. How were you as a little baby, as a little child? We all say, maybe in our language it is said in different ways, but it essentially means that most cultures treat the child, a little baby, little children as God-like. We all say, no, children are like God. There's a natural tendency in each one of us. When we are with little children, we become very free and comfortable. Somehow the tensions dissolve naturally. Somehow we feel like giggling with them, talking with them, playing with them. Something magical happens. What is the reason for that magic? Because that little child or that little baby is not posing in front of you. You know how great I am? You know how much I know? It is not there to show off its own intellectual possessions. Please notice yourself. You know, when you're with a very highly sophisticated and intellectual environment, how does it feel? Versus when you're in the company of, so-called little children or simple-minded people, how do you feel? With the nature, how do you feel? When you're among the trees, how do you feel? Versus when you're among people with different kinds of minds, how do you feel? Why do you naturally feel at peace when you are with, say, plants? Because the plants, that greenery is not posing. A little baby is not posing. And that naturally takes you to your own natural self. You feel at peace. You feel very relaxed. So for a moment, that somebody, you know how great I am, you know who I am, that somebody for a moment was kept away. And you were in your original nobodiness. Meaning what? All the concepts in the mind, you know how great I am, I'm a Hindu, Muslim, what I need to do, what I need to earn, what happened, all that for a moment was away. So that nobodiness, your true nature was shining from within. And that made you feel at peace, at home, one with that nature. You all have felt it in different points of time. Maybe when you are in the seashore, or maybe when you are with some plants in some jungle, or with children, whatever situation, you can go back. So the nobodiness is your true nature. However, thinking that I am somebody makes me feel I have to seek all these pleasures. When you are at peace, please notice, when you're at peace, is there any craving? I want that, I want this, I should get that, I should become that. Is there any craving? Please notice.
There are no thoughts.
You simply are perfectly okay. So that nobodiness is the reality. Means what? It must be natural. Because everything else comes after that. Is it not? It is all provided, learned from your environment. So that somebodiness is learned from the society. Nobodiness is your inherent nature. However, that nobody, depending upon what has been gathered, when starts thinking and acting like somebody, gets into all kinds of pains and pleasures of life, happiness and sorrow. When I am somebody, when I am in association with something that I like, I'm okay. When I'm in association with something that I don't like, I'm not okay. So that I'm okay, I'm not okay comes. I'm fine, I'm not fine comes. I'm happy, I'm sad comes. So all this duality is coming because the nobody has become somebody. And Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna, Sadguru is constantly pointing at your true nature. Realize yourself means recognize your own true nature. Recognize that you really need nothing from this so-called world to make you complete. You are already complete. You are already that which you call as God, because God must be complete. If God also is like one beggar fellow going around and seeking, give me that, give me this, to which God he must be seeking then? So the idea of God must be someone who is fulfilled. So what is the hindrance for this fulfillment? Recognizing your own fulfillment. When I am somebody, until I truly recognize my nobodiness, the hindrance is my own association with all these things that I'm seeking. So here, Sri Krishna's teaching is for that part of the journey. When I'm somebody, I'm so deeply attached to some things and I'm deeply in hatred of some things. So I'm constantly seeking. And that constant seeking is what takes me away from my own innate nature. Because my mind is constantly occupied. See, your and my mind is like this empty space. In this empty space, it has absolutely no qualm about what you bring into this empty space. Into this empty space, you can bring a mobile, you can bring a movie, you can bring a book, you can bring a banana, you can bring whatever nonsense that you think you like. It accepts everything. So mind is exactly like that. So it accepts. And based on what object you bring to this space called mind, then that kind of a thing starts happening, because that is very natural. So Sri Krishna is advising, Sri Krishna is pointing that it is this seeking that constantly creates this wanting more and more. Like somebody said already, adding fuel to the fire. So therefore, to recognize your own inherent fulfilled completeness, you need to have some kind of a discipline. Is it not? Like how Arjunji said, there's nothing wrong in the things called of the world. Fundamentally, we need to examine even further. Is there truly something called as a world? Is it really outside of me? Is there something called as a materialistic achievement? That we will examine as we go further. But right now, when I have a concept of I am a somebody, then the first thing is to recognize my own nobodiness. And what is bothering me, or what is stopping me, what is hindering me from recognizing that? It is my constant association, my attachment to the things that I seek. So first, therefore,
not just the things, the group with whom I mingle, I am. Like the example of that lion with the sheep that grows
correct.
with the
So that there's a beautiful story of a tiger which gets lost, and it's raised by a family of sheep, and it starts babbling and eating grass like other sheep, until one day a tiger from the jungle comes to hunt these sheep, And he finds to his own dismay, there is this lion or this tiger who is babaying like a sheep. He takes him and he's afraid. Who? This tiger who, or this sheep who's thinking, this tiger who's thinking he's a sheep. Then it takes him and then it shows him by looking into the water. Look, is there a difference between you and me? Then the tiger starts recognizing. Like that, there is a deep conditioning. And Sri Krishna, Sadguru, is removing that conditioning. Recognize your true nature. You think you are somebody. You are actually nobody. And then comes the other part of the journey. Everybody. Now, it can be a little confusing. Today, we don't necessarily have to go into the details of it. But when we think of everybody, oh, I am nobody, but there is somebody and they are in squalor. Let me go and help them. There is somebody who needs help. So, which means I am still somebody. So, godliness means there is really no two, there is no other. So, when it is said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or when it is said in Mahavakya, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, all that is nothing but that divine only. It doesn't mean that I am divine and somebody else is not divine. And is there truly somebody else? That is the other part of the journey. But to bring back our attention, when I'm somebody, I have to recognize I'm nobody, and the hindrance is my own association or attachment to all these pleasure-seeking habits. So that has to be done in a very moderate way. There is nothing wrong. Bodily needs have to be taken care, but has to be done moderately. And when I recognize my true nature, abundance, what Arjunji is pointing to, is nothing but natural. God is abundance. Energy, nobody knows how much quantity of energy is there. Energy, the very idea of energy is, it is infinite. God is infinite. So abundance is the nature, very nature of you. But first, from somebody, I have to recognize that I'm nobody.
Yeah. Our conditioning is such that there is only finite thing and like everyone has to get it and grow it. Otherwise, like you will be left out. It's a strong conditioning by the society.
Exactly. Any questions or statements?
Actually, we went way too deep today with yeah, it's good. The explanations are actually helping, and we need to hear, yeah, to learn better.
Shall we then stop today's contemplation, Sarananji?
Yes, sure.